Hey everybody, today we've got a special compilation episode of the SlotsFan Podcast for you. We're going to hear from 14 of our favorite slot channels about their biggest wins, their favorite games, plus casino tips and tricks from all their experience playing all over the country. And we also want to hear from you. What's your favorite slot channel right now? Tell us in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to the channel for a new slot influencer interview every week. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Last March, out there at El Cortez, there's my check right there. I was playing the Hot Pots game, and it was a fairly new machine. And long story short, I put $100 in it. I was just playing. We weren't live yet or anything. I was waiting for him. He'd gone up to the room to get stuff, and some friends of ours had to go get some stuff. And me and my girlfriend were playing side by side the Pots game. And I put $100 in, and I just kind of started low rolling it. And the next thing you know, I have this up to 300 and some dollars. And he comes back down, and I said, I'm not ready to leave yet because this game is doing really, really well. And he's like, well, let's start a live stream here.
We were going to live stream from Fremont anyway, and that was our plan. And I got to go upstairs and get the gig bag, and I'll be right back down. You play whatever.
So by the time he got back down, I had this up to like $350.
Let's just go live now.
And he says, let's just start right now. And I said, perfect. Let's go ahead and go. So he sets up everything. We go live. And this game just kept bonusing and bonusing and bonusing. And it led into where we got the bonus on a 2-cent denom, $3.52 bet. And I didn't change anything because that's what it was hitting on. And I just kept playing. So I get this bonus, and the peppers kept dropping,
and
the little muffins kept dropping, whatever those things are called.
I think they're dumplings.
Dumplings, they kept dropping. And I mean, if you haven't watched our grand video yet, because it was a live stream, it happened. And it just happened so suddenly. It took both of us off guard.
Did this just happen?
There were some words that kind of came out of his mouth, not mine.
I don't even remember. I think I just started speaking in tongues. And
it was an emotional time when that happened because I had never hit a grand before. And
that it happened at El Cortez.
That happened. I've always told him that if I hit a grand, it has to happen at El Cortez. And it did. It happened there. That got me all emotional.
I did hit a grand on Buffalo
before we started our film
for like 60-something thousand.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there, and we're just playing casually. We weren't filming. Oh, we didn't even have the channel.
Completely different day.
Yeah, it was right before we started the channel.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what pushed it over the edge was that hit. We're like, maybe we should be filming. And
yeah, when you won that grand, we're like, we should film. We should have filmed this. Posted.
And we were
must happen all the time.
And we were only in for $2,000 the whole day. So put $2,000 in the machine, got hit for 64,000 or whatever it was. And then they're like, do you want that in a check or cash? Like they ask. And I said, cash. And they're like, well, do you need us to walk you out to your car? I said, no, I'm going to keep playing. And I said, just give me a bag. And so they gave me like a clear trash bag for like the little
bags, yeah.
And so I wrapped it up in that. And I put it underneath my legs.
Next to him as we moved around the casino.
Yeah, I just would move it just like a cup of soda and just moved it around. And then we ended up making like another $20,000 that night. And
that's when I think that was the night that we said we should start filming.
You're right. And that's what kind of funded.
It did fund the first
few months of filming, and you don't realize how expensive filming is when you're getting into it, because we would only play like once every 2 weeks for a couple grand at a time.
Yeah.
Now doing the YouTube channel, you could be, the way we play, we probably should be smarter about it, but the way we play, we could lose a couple grand video.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Hey everyone, we know you all love playing slots in the casino, but we also know you may not have tried playing them online. Sweepstakes casinos are a great way to play fun online slots with the chance at winning real cash prizes, and they're available in tons of US states and in Canada. If you want to learn more about how sweepstakes casinos work so you can decide if it's a good fit for you, check out the video I made where I explain everything you need to know. If you decide to give it a try, our sweepstakes casino of the week is Rolla. Rolla's a sister site to Wow Vegas. It's easy to sign up and it's got a really great selection of games. You can play completely for free using the gold coins and the sweeps coins you get just for signing up and logging in, or you can buy special coin packages that give you even more coins. Right before recording this, I signed up and bought a coin package for $9.99, and it came with 1.5 million gold coins and 30 free sweeps coins. And remember, sweeps coins can be redeemed for cash prizes at a rate of 1 SC to 1 USD. And you'll also get 1 free SC every day for a week just for logging in each day. SlotsFan is an affiliate of Rolla, so if you do sign up, we appreciate you using the link in the description of this video. Thanks very much, and now back to the show.
Early October, I went to Vegas I went to G2E for the second year. I do a live stream that night at the, didn't go so well. A friend of mine that was on the trip with me, he was one of my viewers that had become one of my good friends, was like, hey, let's go to the bar and get one more drink before, the end of the night. I was like, okay, fine. So we sit at the center bar to get a, just put money in video poker and just sit there and play and, get your free drink. Second push, I was playing 5 hands of bonus poker, super tense pay. I get the multiplier comes up 5x and it deals me a rook and 5 hands. And I have this short on there because of my reaction. It just locks up. It just start going up. And I'm like, wait, a royal's $1,000 in quarters. I got 5 of them, but there's multiplier. I'm like, wait, I won $5,000? I won $5,000? No. Then the guy next to me at the bar, wait, you won 10,000, sir. I'm like, 10,000? No, what? And then, oh my God, I won $25,000. Like,
no shit.
Yeah, just from sitting at the bar.
That's insane.
Yeah.
As a low roller, I don't get many hand pays. I've only had one before, and it was at a casino I couldn't record at, so I recorded a snippet of the bonus, and that was a Mighty Cash double-up machine. I had $40 in free play from Beau Rivage, 75-cent bets within like 5 minutes, because I was only playing through the free play, and then I was leaving because they didn't have any machines I was interested in at that time. I ended up getting a bonus, like a random luck has arrived type thing. And it gave me, on that machine, I triggered the double up feature with the maxi jackpot. And that was like 800 or something.
Nice.
And so then it doubled up, but it didn't pay the 800 for each maxi on both screens. It reset to 500. But then it gave me a bunch more maxis.
Okay.
Because that machine, it totals up everything you triggered the bonus with. And then every time you get one of the gems, it gives you that same amount again. So that maxi win was included in there. So I ended up getting $3,500, which was nice.
Wow, that's 75-cent bet.
Just shot not that long ago when I hit 15,000 subs. We decided to do a 15,000 for 15,000 video. So we did $150 spins. And as another prime example, got nothing, literally nothing out of it. And I was like, you know what, we're going to put $5,000 more in and, let's just go 125 a spin. And we nailed it. And we hit a $25,000 minor the first time I've ever done that. And obviously a whole bunch of other stuff. And so we won, $30-some thousand and got back everything we lost on
What game was it?
Auto Moon Dragon Link.
Nice.
And so, that was just from a total experience. It was amazing because the 15,000 just went straight down. Obviously it was meant to be a celebration. And it was just like, we can't go out like this. We gotta, I just wanted to get some kind of a bonus, right? I wasn't expecting to hit for 30,000. And I was literally, if you watch the short, you can't see it on the main video because, we're on the screen, but on the short, I'm literally like laying on the floor in disbelief.
My first hand pay was probably the craziest experience. It wasn't even that much. It was like $1,700. It was on the old Slotto machine. And it was sevens and multipliers and stuff. I couldn't even tell you the difference between a nickel and a dime back then on the slot machines. And I was so scared because I thought I broke the machine because it stopped. And the guy next to me is congratulating me, and I'm like, I don't even know what I did here. Like I was such a noob. And then whenever it came down to the paperwork and stuff, he's like, make sure you take your taxes out and do all this. I didn't even have a clue that they even did taxes on this kind of stuff. And so that was my first win, and it was very exciting. But probably our largest win was a group pull that we did last year in August. And Kashana actually had a slot start tournament where we did a whole bunch of tournaments and stuff where everyone got to do a slot tournament if they got enough points in their card, and they competed against us. Well, after we finished that whole tournament, we went to the high limit room. We pulled a whole group of people, and we actually had the YouTube video for it. And it was a slot machine, I think a quick hit slot machine, the one that doesn't cause you to have a hand pay or anything like that. If you get 3 quick hits, you get 10, or I think it was 5 spins individual that are not taxed or anything, because it counts. It charges you $1 for each spin. And we won 4,000, I think it was like $4,800. And that was the most memorable experience I've ever had with a big group of our friends, people who watch our channel, and we got to win a ton of money and divide it between everybody, and it was a blast.
The biggest casino win was 300,000, and this was way before the channel. This was 2.5 years ago, and I was down a lot of money, and I begged him, let me just get 5,000 more, see if I can hit this. I was playing high stakes Keno at Caesars.
And I'm like, I'm going to kill you.
And we were down tons. And I just said, all I want is $5,000. And he said, fine. But then we're going to bed. It was like 7 p.m. We were in a golf tournament. And I hit an 8 spot for $300,000, paid off all of our markers, paid off everything. And I was all, see? So it was kind of that same feeling, because he was mad at me that night. He's like, let's go to bed. It's 3 a.m. And I ended up hitting the grand jackpot, which was just, I never thought that would happen, on a $50 bet too. Usually before that, I was playing 125, 250, because in my mind, I got to play the big ones to hit the big jackpot. Nope, it's on the lowest bet you could bet on this machine. So it was pretty cool.
So my biggest win ever was at Grand Resort Casino, and I was betting a $25 bet. Now I had a couple $100, and I was getting so tired of betting low bets. Up and down, up and down. It was a game of where you're playing, but you're not winning, but you're not losing. I'm more of a gambler. I just want to know, am I going to win or lose? Like, I get angry after a while. I just want to know.
$25 bets with a couple $100 bankroll you'll get a result pretty quick.
Right. So yeah. I'm like, okay, I love that's my rush. That's what I'm getting from gambling, the adrenaline rush. I'm like, let's do $25. Like, my heart's pumping. I'm loving it. I could be a millionaire. I'm going broke. I love it. That's the feeling I love. So I go to $25 bets. I press it second time, and boom, it lands the mega and the major. It was $13,420.
Yep, on cash falls.
Crazy. And that video did horrible because no one really likes that game. But that was my biggest win ever, and I couldn't believe it. And she wasn't even there.
No, he was there with his mom and one of our friends, and he called me up like at 3 a.m. to tell me that he won. Woke me up.
It was crazy.
I was lucky enough to hit the biggest jackpot of my life. I hit the Super Grand for $75,000 on a $3 bet. So,
wow.
And it was live. I think it might be, well, at the time it was for sure the only live Super Grand that was won. It was crazy. I hit it at like 1:15, and we did not walk out of there until about 5:45 in the morning after it was all said and done. That was the first.
That's amazing.
First Super Grand won at Circus, so they kind of were new at it as well.
We started going to casinos, and we moved here, and I actually have a couple of them. We've had a couple of live jackpots, which some channels never have, which was really cool. But I was at Indigo Sky Casino in Wyandotte, Oklahoma. I was playing a quick hits game, $2 bet, and again, I put $20 in it, maybe $40 in it, and I'm playing at $2, and I get the bonus where you pick the match the 3, and I got 20 times 3, which usually is a pretty good payout. And so it goes through it, and it was a horrible payout. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna spend the rest of this money down, and I'm out of this slot. 3 spins later, it dropped 9 quick hits for $5,600.
Nice.
And I was like, wow. First jackpot I ever hit, biggest jackpot I ever hit.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, fast forward to probably 2 years, maybe 3 years ago. I actually did a Eclipse Gaming live stream just to kind of show them what I could do, kind of a interview, if you would, at River Spirit. And so it did okay. Wasn't a great live stream as far as winning or whatnot. So I got done and I turned around. There's a money link behind me and the mega's like $7,500. So, we all see those big jackpots and we're going to chase that, And so again, I put, $20 in it and I started to do a 2-cent denomination, 75-cent bet, which is $1.50. And all of a sudden it just dropped the balls and there was the mega in there for $7,500 on a $1.50 bet.
I was at the Cosmo in Vegas. I was on a trip by myself. I was actually there for sort of a work-related thing. There was a machine there that it's called Wild Fruit. It's a 3-reel, 5-line game, $5 bet, max bet on it. And I played it once, and it was one of those games that just let you play for like a really long time. And I could put $100 in it, and it constantly gives you $5, $10, $5, $10. It just would hit. Sometimes it would hit $50, line hit, things like that. But I noticed that I was, I enjoyed sitting there and play without losing. And at the same time, I was racking up a ton of points because you're just cycling $5 bets over and over again, to the point that it really tended to increase my offers. I was getting, comped, balcony suites facing the Bellagio fountain for my stays, just from really just playing this machine quite a bit and racking up points. And I wasn't losing money typically on it. I might lose the 100 after a while, and then at the other time I go play it and build 100 up to 200. But over the multiple times playing this machine, I would always tend to about break even and make up for it in comps. And not that you play for comps, but it was just kind of a nice little benefit of this game. So I'm there in March, and I played it the first night I was there. Didn't really have much luck on it. And then I went back to it the next day, and I stuck in a ticket. And I was like, I got to do my little play it for a few spins, see what happens. And anyway, that trip, though, I noticed that the progressive that starts at 10,000 hadn't hit still, and it was now over $100,000. It just kept building, and the numbers look funny because they had to squeeze in the, because none of these other machines ever started to get up there. And so I'm playing, I probably played about $60 a machine, and then the 2, the 5, and the 10 lined up in the top jackpot, and I won it.
No shit.
Yeah. And
wow.
108,000. I was 108,590, $108,000 on a $5 bet. And previous to that, my biggest one was 15,000 ever.
Wow. What did that feel like?
That was surreal. You just sit there and you're just like, did this really happen? It was just, oh my God, I have it on video, my reaction. I pulled out my phone as soon as it hit while it's counting up. So there's a video out there on it. But I was just, oh my God. Like just this thing that you're like, you can't believe like you could ever win something like that in slots, especially I don't bet $150 a spin, and even then it's hard to win 6 figures, but just on a $5 bet to actually hit something like that, it just took me about an hour to actually be like, this is actually real.
My number one favorite of all time is Top Dollar, old school single line. And the reason that is I used to play that quite a bit with my dad. That was his favorite game. And that kind of was my introduction to slots and old school pinball. That's my favorite too. They've kind of ruined it a little bit with the 9-liner, but it's all right. My second favorite would probably be the Egyptian Jewels, because I won $74,000 on that. That was a fantastic experience. But I'll play pretty much anything. I have a ban list on my channel. I don't play anything Huff and Puff. I hate it. I hate Zeus. Those of you that are Zeus fans, I get, hey, play Zeus. I don't like Zeus. I probably have more, maybe a handful of games that I absolutely will not play, but the rest of the games I'll play and at least give them a shot, especially the new games in our casino. Those always seem weirdly to hit a lot for the first couple months they're in there, and then they're always fun to explore.
My favorite of all time is going to be Dancing Drums by Light and Wonder. I absolutely love that game because I feel like at any bid level you can win on Dancing Drums. So that one always makes great content. Also, people love Dragon Link. They make good content. And then my next favorite would probably have to be Huff and Puff. I mean, who doesn't love Huff and Puff? It's just, it has evolved into something massive. So I really enjoy that game. And then, of course, all variations of Buffalo. It's not a variation of Buffalo I don't love.
There's some smoke and mirrors, or the game is kind of telling the player a certain message that isn't true. So let's talk specifically about perceived persistence, like what you're saying about the classic example of like the pot filling as time goes on. For almost all games that do this, when you see the pot fill, your odds of triggering that bonus are not improved, but what it does show is it gives you a sense of how long it's been since that particular game did, or that feature was triggered. Is that useful information? Well, it's one of those maybe above my pay grade things to understand that in the long term, a game will bonus at a certain frequency. And if it hasn't bonused a while in the short term, does that mean it's quote unquote ready? Well, eventually it all evens out. But in the short term, it has absolutely no effect. So, let that swirl around in your head. And I guess I don't have the exact answer. But yeah, I mean, perceived persistence, I know, like when I see the firecrackers all lit and you only have one more to go, it's like, does that make me want to play the game a little more? I mean, the answer is it kind of does. And even though I know that whether the pot is filled or it's not filled, it has no bearing on when the feature is triggered. But I mean, it's just something almost all developers use because they know it's effective, and they know for the majority of players out there, boy, it absolutely ropes them in. And I hear it in the casino again and again. It's like, oh, they're all filled. I have to keep playing until I get the bonus, right?
You got to know when to stop. I mean, you got to know that whatever your bet size is, there's going to come a point where it's not going to pay you back unless you hit something major, and the chances are fairly slim at that point. So you got to stop. I mean, $200 or $300 on a 250 bet, it's probably a good stopping point, because it's going to be really hard to recoup more than that money. Because to me, that's the most important thing I do. And I have so many people comment on our videos that we're such smart players because we get up and walk away. It's not always easy. Sometimes we want to keep playing. Maybe the other machines are full or whatever, and so you end up staying longer than you should, but you've got to learn to walk away.
One tip I do have that I use all the time is I use the max bet on my first spin. And I don't know, I feel like if you're going to win the bonus or something like that, it's always on the first spin. I get first spin wins more than anything else. And I think that would be my tip, is go a little big on your first spin. Then after that, knock it back down to the smaller denominations or the smaller wins, and continue playing like that, because I feel like first spin wins are a real thing.
Just make sure to turn down the denom.
Definitely turn down and go all the way back down to the bottom.
All of the picking process is purely for entertainment purposes.
Right, okay.
And even though it's implying, you see people studying the screen. Should I pick here or here for that grand jackpot? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But a lot of players out there, they think, oh my gosh, I just I got $2,000.
Do any of them actually show you the ones that you didn't pick?
That's what I'm getting at. So, so some games, they're like, oh, you pick, and then, oh, surprise, surprise, you got the mini instead of the grand, even though you had $2,000. And then they reveal the other choices. And then upon reveal, they see, oh my gosh, if I would have just picked over here, I would have won the grand jackpot.
I did have a chance.
Totally deceptive. And my understanding is that loophole, they've finally, regulators have buttoned that down.
This is my true philosophy on how gambling works. There are formulas, and the machine has a return to player percentage and all of those things. But at the end of the day, it's about being in the right place at the right time and hitting the button at the right time. So it really comes down to luck. And I don't think the player card, Nick said this to us once. I love it. He's like, wouldn't I want to give somebody like you all the wins that comes here every month, right?
No doubt.
So if properties could do that, they would do that accordingly. And I don't see that, because we go, and Ellis is a perfect example. We go to all their VIP parties with their other VIPs, And some of us win sometimes and some of us lose sometimes. We're always like, who's the winner this time, right? It's reality of gaming. So I just think you can look at things like, you know, a maxed out major or things like that to say, hey, maybe a machine's going to hit, right? So some people believe in advantaged play, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But in my heart of hearts, it's really about you're the lucky one who hit the button at the right time when the machine was ready to pay.
When you change the denom, when you're playing at a slot machine and you change the denom, it's basically that you've just now sat down at a different slot machine. Because when you change the denom, it is a whole different pay table. And when you have a different pay table, that's a different game. So, you know, you can get bored when you're sitting and you're having no action and you can get up and walk across the casino. But sometimes I just change my betting denom instead of getting up because it is switching the game.
Yeah, it's kind of, again, like not going to change your odds, but can change things up, make it more interesting, maybe at least maybe a different outcome, not like a higher probability of winning, but it can switch things up a little bit.